friends, we are back for another Reincarnation is a Game episode, and today we are going to be talking about where you started this entire game, your family. Specifically, the role you played in your family and how that set you up for this entire game of life and what you are working on learning, how we can get some clues as to what your soul lesson is based off of the role that you played in your family dynamics. So if we see life as if it's a video game that we are playing and we have a quest that we're taking as we are living through this life, there are things we want to accomplish, things we want to learn, somebody that we are trying to become or remember who we truly are. The family is where we get activated. You know, in a video game, it's where we spawn, right? This is the initial gameplay that sets you up for everything that is to come. And the role you play in your family dynamics also adds a layer to the character that you're playing in this life. It's a role that shapes how you interact with the world, what happens when you're triggered or things get a little chaotic and you're in an emergency situation, what you default to. Because every family is its own game environment. And in your childhood, you figure out how to survive that. Now, some of you might have had childhoods that were light and easy and breezy. That is great. Some of you had a real battlefield as a childhood. So all of these roles are going to show up in the different family dynamics, but the extent, the extremeness of it might vary based off of all the wonderful, wild, wacky things that happened in your family. So welcome back. And if you are new here, I am Jillian Harrington. I'm all about learning about reincarnation and spirituality and near-death experiences and past life regressions and taking that information to help us understand the framework of life and learning how we can be more intentional with how we live in that framework so that we can be successful at this life. So subscribe to get notified when the next game episode comes out. So in a previous episode, we talked about how you have a quest that you embark on for this life that you're living. And before you come into form, you set up the game that you were about to play. You set up your relationships. You set up your body. You set up the family that you are born into. Sometimes this is given you as options to choose from, and sometimes you're a little bit more engaged in the selection of the family. But as you get into that family, you start playing your character. So let's dive in to all of those different little mini character types that shape your life to come. So the first role we are going to look at is the golden child, the hero, the achiever. This is usually the firstborn, right? A lot of expectations get put upon the eldest child. They go through childhood really focused on being the best, getting all of the good grades, or being the most amazing sports player, whatever the focus is of that family and that individual, they are going to be showing up to say, hey, I am the top dog in this arena. This is the one that gives the family a bit of credibility, right? Look at our wonderful son or daughter who's doing all of these amazing things. They mean that our entire family is wonderful because they are wonderful. And so if this is you, as you continued out of childhood and into your life, you are going to find that you are continuing to be somebody who is trying to achieve, to be the best, to get the raises and the promotions and the accolades. It's really important to have all of these external measures of success because that proves that you are valued, that you are worthy, that you are worth being loved. So when we look at what your soul is getting up to, what is it that you are working on learning? The lesson, and there's a few sprinkled in here, but the one I want to focus on is self-acceptance. There's also self-love. Those two really go hand in hand here. But the idea is that The external world is never going to get you what you need. The opportunity here is to know that you are worthy of love just as you are. You don't need to do anything to earn it. There's nothing that you need to do to make you okay. You are already okay. You are divine. You are wonderful. By the way, I am working on a workbook to go with this Reincarnation Is a Game series, which should be a lot of fun. And so this will be a section in it. It is still in development, but if you are interested, I'm going to leave a link below where you can sign up and get notified when it's ready. You can also go to my website, jillianharrington.com, to find out more. Okay, let's move on to the next character or role that we play in our families. And that is the caregiver. I like to think of this as the family keeper, because this is the role that really is all about taking care of the family unit and making sure it's okay. This role particularly comes up when there is a lot of dysfunction or trauma in the family, or when there are parents that are absent or not available, or some other dysfunction is happening at the parental level, the people who normally are the folks that take care of the family. Sometimes when there's a gap, you might have been the person to step in to make sure that everything is okay. This often also is an eldest child sort of a role. Skews female, right? Doesn't have to be, but often that is something that gets placed on women to make sure that the family unit is okay and everybody is okay within that structure. You're keeping the family system functioning so everything doesn't fall apart. If this is you, as you continue through your game of life and you're still playing that role, you are going to attract people who are interested in being taken care of, protected. You're attracting people who need to be rescued. So if this is you, in your daily life, you are going to feel responsible for everything, even when it is not your responsibility. And as part of that, you will rarely ask for help because it's all up to you to hold things together, and nobody else is there to hold you up. So what is the soul lesson that you are working on, my friend? That is one of energetic balance. You are pouring yourself into everything else, and it isn't getting poured back into you. So one of the lessons that you're working on is learning how to make sure that you're not pouring in more than you have to give. And the other lesson that is worked on here is respect. And that's twofold. One is respect for yourself, respecting your own energy, your own boundaries, what you have to give and what you don't have to give. And also, and this might seem odd to you, but also it's respecting the other person. Because if you're somebody who often feels like you need to go in and rescue people, you're not respecting their own sovereignty. You're not respecting that they have power to fix it, and know that you don't have to be responsible for everybody else. Being responsible for yourself is enough. Okay, let's move on to the next one. And that is the scapegoat. The one that gets blamed for everything. The one that has to carry the family shame. Sometimes this is subtle, sometimes this is really obvious. Now, if you didn't grow up in a dysfunctional family, you might not have this role. That's great. But if this does resonate with you, look at where in your life you get blamed for everything. Because in the family dynamic, if there was this drama or trauma, it had to go somewhere. And if you were the scapegoat, it got put on you. You were blamed for being the one that was the problem, the disruptor. Perhaps it was that you were overdramatic, that you needed too much attention. Whatever it might be, you became the reason that things didn't work in the family, which wasn't true, of course, but it's hard to know that that's not true when you're a child. So as you learned that, and you carried that through your life, you continue to experience situations where you keep on getting blamed. You keep on being the one at fault. Perhaps you find yourself in physically or emotionally or mentally abusive relationships where, again, all that garbage gets heaped upon you as you are the problem. That makes it so that the other person doesn't have to take responsibility for their own emotions, their own actions, etc. And unfortunately, this means that you probably also go through life carrying this low level of shame or feeling like you are somehow bad, that there's something just inherently, intrinsically wrong with you. Spoiler alert, there's nothing wrong with you. The lesson here for you to learn is a big one and a really hard one as you're experiencing, and that is self-love. It's loving yourself, particularly when you're in a state where you've been told that you're bad, that you're the problem, to be able to dig underneath that and to find that, oh, actually, no, I'm not the problem. I'm okay. I am worthy of all the love in the universe, just as I am. All the broken bits as well. When you are able to really give yourself that self-love and self-acceptance, then you'll be able to see things will loosen up in the world around you, and people will be able to shift the way they act towards you. Until that is learned, those vibes will keep coming at you, those vibes of blame and judgment. And I'll just take a moment to say that, like, this can feel really hard, right? Stuff that started in our family, it's deep, it's yucky, it's gooey, it's dark. But the key to start all of it is self-awareness. Your mental attention looking at things is the thing that transmutes, that transforms, that shifts, that brings in a new energy to release things. So it is by being aware of what the past was, but particularly by being aware about how it's playing out in the present moment. Pay attention as I go through all of these different roles. Pay attention to your life today. And when you find yourself reacting in a particular way, behaving in a particular way, maybe you can't change that reaction or that behavior or that emotion, but you can see it. You can say, okay, I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling judged. I'm feeling like I'm not good enough. By paying attention to it, that is our cosmic nature. You're bringing consciousness into this lower vibration, and that allows it to kind of break up and shift and change. So you can be a little bit easy on yourself by just paying attention and taking things at your own time and your own pace. That's all you need to do to begin. And that will help you on your way. Okay, let's go into another one, a juicy one, and that's the rebel. It's very connected to the scapegoat. This one, I mean, it's in the title, often is a younger or the youngest child. They're the ones that push back against the rules. The thing that is interesting to note when you look at these family dynamics is that there is a birth order to it. So the ones that are the good ones, right, are often the eldest because of the expectations placed upon them. Those roles get taken. So then the next children that come in the line of succession here, since that role is already taken, they find another way to interact in this family game dynamic. And the thing that is interesting when I learned this when I was younger is that when the golden child leaves the family, it's not uncommon for the rebel to actually change and take their place once that place is available for them to take. It is a possible dynamic at play. If this is you, you really became this character in your family, right? The one who challenges the rules, who does whatever they want to do, because you felt powerless. You felt like you didn't have any voice or say or ability in this family dynamic. And so you wanted to find your power and push your own way through the world. And so if this is you, if you were the rebellious child in your family, as you go through life, if you didn't get a chance to change or heal that, you will find yourself continuing to be up against authority, pushing the boundaries, doing whatever it is that you want to do, and throwing away all of the rules. The lesson here that you're working on is power. This is a power dynamic because you felt powerless and you were pushing your way to find and claim your own power against these structures. But the opportunity for you is to be able to realize that you are powerful. Whatever is going on with the structures, you don't have to be against other people. You don't have to push against things to feel powerful. You can feel powerful just as you are, whether you choose to operate within structures or not. Up to you. But I will say life will go a little easier when you're able to sit in your power and go the direction you want to go so that you're not being driven against other things or other people, but instead you are driving yourself from what you really want and who you really are. Okay, so in contrast to our very loud, dramatic, rebellious child, we have the lost child, often the middle child, right? The one that gets lost amongst the family dramas and dynamics. This is the invisible child, the one that disappears, the quiet one, the one that nobody pays attention to. The role this child is playing is not causing any problems, not taking up any resources. There's so much going on. I don't need anything. I'm okay. I'm just going to make myself invisible and stay out of the family drama. So this role of being the invisible one, if this is you and you continue to carry this through your life, being seen is going to be the issue here. You're going to continue throughout your life to be overlooked. The louder ones, whether it's the rebel or the golden child or whatever, they're getting all of the attention and there's none left for you. And so as you go through your career, you're not getting the opportunities, you're not getting the recognition, you're not even getting noticed. And maybe you like it that way because you're staying out of any problems or dramas, but you're also not getting fed, right? You have a lot to offer the world, and you're not able to do that if you're hiding. The soul lesson you're working on here is authentic expression. It's about shining your light. It's about being seen. And I know that probably feels uncomfortable for you, but you are a bright, beautiful soul. You have so much to offer the world. And this is the life where you're exploring how you can show up and share that and step into the light. So before we move on to our final role, if you've gotten this far, hopefully you found it useful. So if you could like the video, subscribe, you know the drill. I really appreciate all of the support. Okay, the next one is the entertainer, the performer, often also the youngest child. This is one where you also were trying to find your own way to get attention. You couldn't be the good kid, you couldn't be the rebel, right? So you decided to get super loud and super dramatic, and that's the way you were able to find your own way in this family dynamic. This was how you were able to get attention and love, is through performing and laughing. Additionally, you could sense the tension or the emotional dramas, etc. in the family. And this is a way that you found could help manage that energy by bringing in jokes, by bringing in music or whatever it might be. It was a way to diffuse the tension or distract from it. So it's kind of a double role that you're playing here. So if you relate to this, right, you were the one that liked to show off all the time. Look at me, look at me, look at me. As you go through life, you're going to continue to try to get people to look at you, because for you, that attention and that approval or laughter, whatever the commodity is the way that you were able to feel seen, validated, worthy, aka loved, right? This is how you got your value, is when other people externally reacted to you positively, that meant that you were okay. You found out who you were by the reflection of other people around you. And you also had this way of managing everybody else's emotions through this expression that you had of yourself. And so you might find that you don't really manage your own or share your own emotions. You might not do vulnerability very well. So in your adult life, aside from being the one that cracks jokes and is seen as the fun one, this idea of doing what you need to do to be seen, that might also be sort of a touch point for you. You might find yourself in relationships or situations where you don't feel seen, right? Particularly if you're doing all of this external drama, laughter, etc., who you are might not be authentically expressed because you're doing it in order to get reactions from other people instead of doing just who you are naturally. So it's about learning how to approve of yourself and love yourself without needing that validation from others. You are the one to validate yourself. So pay attention in life. Is it that you look to other people to tell you that you are good enough, that you are okay to decide who you are as a person? If you're getting your identity from how other people think of you, the opportunity here is for you to find that within yourself, and it really doesn't matter what anybody else says because they're just projecting their own stuff onto you. They can't actually see you. None of us can really see each other because we're all in our own little chaotic messes, and we see everybody else through our own mess, through our own lens, through our own needs and dramas. So this is a chance to really work on that soul lesson of loving yourself and authentically expressing yourself, being true with what is inside you and sharing it with other people. Okay, it is time to choose your own adventure. You have 3 paths this time. One is to go get on the list to be notified when the workbook is ready, or grab it if it's ready. The workbook that goes along with this Reincarnation Is a game, where you can get your own character sheet and figure out the roles that you play, your soul age, your soul type, and how it all ties together and how you can use it in your life. So that is adventure 1. Adventure 2 is to move on to the next video, all about your life purpose. If it's ready, it will be here. If not, this is going to be something that YouTube thinks you will find valuable. And if you're new here, go back to the beginning and watch the very first episode. Wherever you go, I look forward to seeing you there. Bye.